Alright, so I have to apologize because I managed not to record Game 3 of this match. What I did was I recorded all of the games after the tournament was over, since the replays disappear almost straight away. This way I can jump around in the recording, go back when I want to go back, fast forward if I want to fast forward. But yeah, I don't have Game 3 of this match, so we're going to get the first two games. Free opens with Mountain Grim Lavamancer. It's a fairly good start against a deck that's going to open with Birds of Paradise, and then he doesn't even need the Lavamancer activation as he's able to just Twisted Image the birds away. We saw how reliant Jaehoon's list was on Birds of Paradise or Llanowar Elf to get off to a quick start. It's very, very sparse on the 1 and 2 slots otherwise, and so that's likely to really slow him down. And with the active Lavamancer, he gets to kill any Llanowar Elf or anything that comes down afterwards. It's interesting to note, he's leaving a mountain up. He doesn't have any red 1 casting cost instants in his deck. I'm pretty sure, let's check, just to make sure, yeah, none post-board, pre-board rather. But he's leaving a mountain up and swinging with Lavamancer rather than holding Lavamancer back and dealing 2. There are a couple of things that means to me. One is that if Jaehoon draws and plays a Llanowar Elf, well, Lavamancer won't be able to kill it that turn. So he's losing that opportunity. He's also losing the opportunity to turn these 4 cards into damage at a more efficient rate than Grim Lavamancer deals damage just attacking. So what he's doing is playing, it looks to me, like he's playing for a bit of a longer game. He wants the fuel for Lavamancer to kill creatures somehow, and also he's prioritizing doing damage to Jaehoon, which is really interesting in a Splinter Twin deck, which usually can deal infinite damage in 1 turn. So Fui, right from turn 2, is thinking about the possibility of attacking Jaehoon for the win without the combo. Maybe there's something about his hand that makes him feel like that's sensible, I don't know. But he's definitely going for it. Here he plays Deceiver Exarch, end of turn. By the way, note that Jaehoon has headed up to 4 land after playing that Birds of Paradise and done nothing. He did mulligan to 5, which I failed to mention. But yeah, his hand is not being great this game. Deceiver Exarch comes in end of turn and actually untaps Grim Lavamancer to deal an extra 2. So Fugi's really going all in straight for the face. Sorry, past me has to move those revealed cards out of the way. And we see Twisted Image playing its beatdown role as he gets to deal 5 damage with Deceiver Exarch and Grim Lavamancer. So Fugi finally gets a creature on the board. Jaehoon, sorry, finally gets a creature on the board. But at this point, he's looking at 2 active Grim Lavamancer with a bit of fuel, and all these Deceiver Exarchs as well. And even without Fugi able to get the combo down, things are pretty rough for Jaehoon here. I think it's interesting that he didn't choose to trade either of these Eldrazi spawn for 1 life by chump blocking last turn. With active Grim Lavamancers and very little in the way to deal with them in his deck, it seems like that might be the right play. Dismember can kill the Lavamancers, but unfortunately it costs him 4 life to do so with it. Doesn't have a Birds of Paradise in play, so can't pay any black. And Beast Within would kill a Lavamancer, but given that he's behind on the board, it's not the most appealing option, I guess. Anyway, Fugi actually goes ahead and just burns him out with Lavamancers. So that was game 1. A little bit of an odd game, and both decks really misfired. Splinter Twin managed to get to turn 7 without finding its combo, and Mono Green hopefully game 2 we'll get to see a better snapshot of the power of the decks. And we see that straight away Mental Misstep comes into play to slow down the elf start. Again, we've seen how the deck looks quite reliant on Llanowar Elves and Birds of Paradise. I think it's less so on the play because in turn 3 big creature isn't even that bad on the play, whereas on the draw that's very slow. But with Mental Misstep, 2 main and another in the board, and Jehun probably bringing in Nature's Claim seems like an obvious card to have. Notice that Fugi did not choose to break Misty Rainforest until after his draw step. That's just something you should be noticing. It probably means he's a little light on land. I would sort of love it if Jehun had Beast Within here, if he just went ahead and killed the island. Probably it's a wrong play, but it would be cool. The fact that he broke the Misty Rainforest after his draw step just makes you a little bit more likely to want to do that. We also see a Ponder and not shuffling, but then a fetch land, so that doesn't tell you too much. It tells you he got 1 good card out of the Ponder, but maybe only 1. So yeah. And you don't even know like what the good card was really. It could have just been that he pondered, saw Preordain, and decided he'd rather draw Preordain than a blank, but had 2 lands on top and didn't want either of those. Preordain puts a card on bottom and a card up top, then he plays an island. I sort of suspect that the card he drew off that was the island, as he then goes for Deceiver Exarch. It's possible that he's had that Exarch in hand all game. This is interesting. He chooses to break his Shrine of Piercing Vision in the combat step, rather than going for it after his draw step, which would be the way to see the most cards, because it will get another counter on it during his upkeep. And the reason for this, I assume, is that he's about to go to 2 life, and he has Mutagenic Growth in his deck. So if he breaks this shrine, and like he's holding Mutagenic Growth perhaps, or he sees a Mutagenic Growth and nothing else, then perhaps he wants to blow the Mutagenic Growth here to stay up on a 5 life after the growth, and that gives him the option to play a second should he draw it. That's the only reason I can think of to make this play rather than waiting. Of course, another thing to consider is that they don't have each other's deck lists, so yeah. This is a really cool play. He attacks for 10 to put him on 2, and then dismembers the Exarch before untapping. Just want to point out that that's the correct way you want to do it. If he untaps, he has stuff like Dispel, which can counter the Dismember, and if you do it before you put him on 2, he has Mutagenic Growth. The way that Jehun did it, though, Fugi has nothing, and the game ends with him realizing that he has just nothing to do, except then he starts playing again. Sorry about that. So, yeah, unfortunately I don't have game 3. Let me check for you real quick who won the match. I feel like I should just tell you. Hold on a sec. Okay, so it looks like Jehun did go on to win the match. So, a pretty disappointing showing from the Splinter Twin deck, really. It wins game 1 on turn 7 versus a Multi 5, and then fails to pull anything off in the following 2 games. I feel like that's going to be quite typical for Splinter Twin. It's quite difficult to draw 2 of a 4 of with consistency. You can draw 2 of a 4 of like more than half the time, but you're always risking having all 4 Deceiver X arc in the bottom half of your library or something like that, and just having very little chance to win the game. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this first match, and I'm going to go on to recording match 2 of the quarterfinals now.